State Champs High School Football Preview Show is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. And National Coney Island, home of the official craving of summer. National Coney Island. Doggone good. From inside the newly redesigned State Champs Network studios, this is the final episode of the 2018 Summer Series, our annual high school football preview show, presented by Lawrence Tech. I'm Lauren Plant. This is not Kiara Hay. It's Scott Bernstein, everybody. Scott and a host of contributors will give us a sneak peek at what to look forward to this coming football season. I know you love this time of year.
Best time of the year, bar none. August going into September, football getting started. It's like a rite of passage, and I couldn't be more jacked up.
I know. I'm with you. Let's begin, and let's talk about what's going on in the city. The PSL seems always like it's evolving, but the cream of the crop, some familiar programs again?
Yeah, Cass and King are just going to be, the bells of the ball, if you will. Cass is just, expect the blue chip factory to keep on churning out those blue chippers, those high level prospects. They just have a lot of talent, and you got to always be ready for Cass Tech to be possibly one of the best teams in the state. Move over to King, and when I think of them, I think of just an explosive offense. DEQUAN Finn, their quarterback's going to Central Michigan. He has some real nice toys to play with this year, possibly the best receiving core in the state, led by Rashawn Williams.
Just south of the city is the Downriver area. Wyandotte still the team to beat?
Yeah, I really like what we're getting out of Wyandotte this year. You got a brand new quarterback, a kid that's getting a lot of buzz here in the offseason, sophomore Jalen Pitchford, and then they got a very intriguing playmaker in junior Christian Cooper, who will be running the ball and playing in the defensive secondary.
How about we go over to the Huron League real quickly. Preview for us, Riverview. Got to the state semifinals a year ago before falling to Farmington Hills here.
Yeah, they run that full house T offense, and I really like their defense this year. And a guy like Nevin Hughes, linebacker, a speed merchant, sideline to sideline, great instinct. And then Steve Rice, their safety, who also might see some time running the ball this year.
Cool. Scott's going to be back in just a second, but let's go to Ryan Slocum right now for a preview of the Flint-Saginaw area.
Coaching changes are a big story in the Flint area, beginning with Davison. Former Lapeer East headman Jake Weingarts takes over for Kyle Zimmerman, while the starting corner opposite Charles Woodson on the 1997 national champion Michigan Wolverines, Andre Weathers, is now the head coach at Flint. Couple of big-time gunslingers will have to be replaced in the Metro League. Josh Zarnata has finally graduated from Fenton, which has won 7 Metro titles in a row. He's off to Grand Valley, as is Cal Endicott, who led Flushing to the regionals last season. One QB who does return, Carmen Ainsworth Jr. Dustin Fletcher, who has a number of Division I offers. The Cavs also bring back his big bro, possibly the best player in the mid-Michigan area, defensive end Mike Fletcher, who's committed to Michigan State. Further north, Saginaw Swan Valley returns the majority of last year's squad that made it to the Division V title game. And Ithaca is extremely young, but you can never count them out. The Yellow Jackets have won 73 regular season games in a row and have made it to the Division VI state championship game 7 times in 8 years.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Scott, back with me now as we turn our attention to the Macomb area in our high school football preview show. The reigning Division II state champs calls Macomb County home, as do some other pretty solid contenders.
Yeah, the area's probably a little stronger than normal this year. Obviously, Chippewa Valley, in my opinion, is the team to beat in the Macomb County area. They have just a plethora of playmakers led by Tommy Schuster, their senior quarterback, just a Sir Swag-a-lot out there. But they got a lot of Division I talent, too. You move over to Dakota, they got a real magician at quarterback in Mark Toko. His arm's like a magic wand. He's reminds me of like Johnny Football in his Texas A&M days when he was winning Heisman trophies. And then you move over to the Catholic League, Warren De La Salle. They're going to have a really good chance at repeating. I think King's the favorite, but you can't look past the defending champs. But De La Salle, I love their defense this year. Jake Dobbs and Devin Campbell at linebacker. Danny Matowski, their Central Michigan recruit up front. You go over to the secondary, they got Josh DeBerry, who in my opinion is the most underrated cornerback in the state senior class.
All right, we're going to jump quickly over to the Livingston County area. There's a couple of teams who could make some noise.
Yeah, Pinckney coming off their first league title in 22 years. They moved out of the KLA into the SEC last year. Looked really nice. This year, they got a guy on the defensive line named Jake Price, who I really like. 30 quarterback hurries last year. You move over to Brighton, the Bulldogs, they're always going to be Bulldog tough, and they got two really terrors in the trenches in Colby Ford and Jack LaFave.
Nobody literally sweats the details like Scott Bernstein. He will be back a little later in the show talking the Western Wayne and Ann Arbor area, so stick around.
Hey guys, I'm Kiera Hay, and as you know, we love high school sports, but we got to get our college fix in too. Our brand new series, LTU Sports Report, will show highlights and exclusive interviews from Lawrence Technological University's athletic department, including the first football season in 70 years. Beginning September 3rd, LTU Sports Report will air every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. So be sure to tune in and check out the best of the Blue Devils.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
The high school football season always starts in Detroit with the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic. 3 days, 7 games. Michigan's top teams and players competing at Wayne State University with these great matchups on Thursday, August 23rd, Friday, August 24th, and Saturday, August 25th. Tickets on sale now at participating schools. For more information, visit DetroitSports.org. The Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic. The season starts here.
You ready, Darius?
Let's do it. Anybody want an autograph?
Autograph? We're here for the stuffed crust pizza.
Stuffed crust pizza? Hey, who do you think you are? End of the line, pal.
Flavor fanatics love stuffing their faces with our stuffed flavored crust. Get one for only $2 more on any large original round pizza.
Hungry?
Howie's! Welcome back to the State Champs High School Football Preview Show. And two things I cannot believe. Tom Markowski is now retired. Although he is still going to do some writing with us, Tom will no longer be on TV with me. Instead, it's Sean Belizean. Welcome, buddy.
It's a pleasure. And props to Tom. We love him. Great career. But, hey, let's get this going. I'm excited. New season. Let's do it.
All right, Sean's here because the second thing I can't believe is we are in our 11th year of our Hungry Howie's Mr. Football race. He is here to talk about it. Let's put up our first top 10 candidates of the season. Sean's got a few that he'd like to talk about.
Yeah, you know, one guy that I'm going to start with is Logan Brown. He's a big tackle from East Kentwood. Monstrous. 6'6", 285 pounds. He's got quick feet. And as a senior, he's going to be a big part of East Kentwood. And he's committed to perennial Big Ten power Wisconsin as well. Secondly, I want to get into DEQUAN Finn, Detroit Martin Luther King quarterback, 6'2", 170-pound quarterback. He puts the dual in dual quarterback. He had 15 touchdown passes last year, 6 touchdown runs. This is a kid that led King to a championship in Division II in 2016. You know he'd love nothing better than to do it again in 2018. He is a commit to Central Michigan. And finally, how about Michael Fletcher, a strong side defensive end out of Flint, Carmen, Ainsworth. Fletcher, 6'6", 240-pound force. Big reason for his success. His athletic ability and work ethic to go along with that size coming off the edge. This is a young man that will be taking his talent to Michigan State.
Sean will be a part of the podcast team this football season. He'll also handle some highlight duties on occasion as well. Thank you for stepping up.
Always a pleasure, Lauren. Let's do it.
All right, our football preview now continues to roll ahead as we go to mid-Michigan with Jay Sarkar.
We start in the CAAC Blue. Divisional power Grand Ledge will look to follow up last year's 8-2 season and first-round playoff exit with a fourth straight divisional crown, but the addition of DeWitt to the Blue may complicate the Comets' chances. DeWitt's departure means the CAAC Red is now up for grabs. St. John's, Hazlitt, and Williamston all have a shot at the Red title, but Hazlitt's 8-3 season 1 year ago might give the Vikings a leg up on the rest of the competition. The CAAC White still features its two key players. Portland entering its 20th season under longtime coach John Navarra, looking to win the title again. Lansing Catholic, though, looking to push the rival Raiders for that top spot as usual. As we move north into the CMAC, Pewamo Westphalia gunning for a fourth straight trip to Ford Field and a third straight state championship. And down south, Jackson Lumen Christi also looking to make it a three-peat. Coach Herb Brogan's Titans are locked and loaded for another season, competing in the Interstate 8, but open with a massive challenge in reigning powerhouse Grand Rapids West Catholic. With your preview of Lansing area football for State Champs, I'm Jay Sarkar.
We have not one, but two brand new football podcasts coming this fall. Every Thursday at 5 p.m., tune in for our football forecast. That podcast will preview and predict the matchups that will take place the upcoming weekend. Then on Mondays at 5 p.m., our Extra Point podcast will talk about what went down over the weekend. Both podcasts will cover recruiting, and both will be available on State Champs Facebook page and our newly redesigned website, statechampsnetwork.com.
It's time to kick off summer with the official summer craving, because summertime is Coney time with National Coney Island. So grab a Coney, a drink, and a side, and let's kick off summer. National Coney Island, the official craving of summer.
I want a career in robotics and automation, so I chose Lawrence Tech for its first in Michigan robotics engineering program. LTU's brand new STEM complex has a robotics lab where we can design, build, and program robots in a creative atmosphere. And the best thing is, I haven't graduated yet, but I already have a job in my field. I know I made the right choice for my career. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
It's tough to improve on an original, and SNEFCamp is Metro Detroit's original Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer. We sell vehicles that are up for a challenge, and when it comes to our sales and service experience, that's the same way we do business. This is who we are, and this is what we do. Don't miss the summer clearance event at SNEFCamp on Telegraph at Plymouth Road in Redford.
SNEFCamp, Metro Detroit's original. SNEFCamp.
It's time to kick off summer with the official summer craving, because summertime is Coney time with National Coney Island. So grab a Coney, a drink, and a side, and let's kick off summer. National Coney Island, the official craving of summer.
Welcome back to the State Champs High School Football Preview Show. We are able to welcome in via satellite the one and only Alan Trude. He covers Midwest football recruiting for 247 Sports. All season long, Alan's going to keep you in the know when it comes to the latest news in recruiting. This is the Michigan Student Aid Recruit Report. Let's get into it right now. Michigan just landed a big fish out of Belleville.
Yeah, they picked up a commitment from defensive end Tyrese Woods. He was at King last year. He's at Belleville now. Tyrese is an excellent summer. He was really good at the Grand Valley Sound Mind Camp, really good at Michigan's camp. He won MVP there, and he's a kid that I think is going to have a huge impact for Belleville on both sides of the ball.
Canton has a big-time prospect on defense. What's the latest on Darius Robinson?
Yeah, he's got a couple official visits scheduled. He has Maryland and Colorado scheduled. He's going to visit a couple of other schools. I think the top two to beat right now are Syracuse and Michigan State. He's going to get back to both of them before he makes a decision as he kind of takes his time more in getting through the process here.
All right, so one of our preseason Mr. Football candidates is Cass Tech running back Jaron Mangum. He recently decided he would leave the state of Michigan, but he only moved here prior to high school. So was that a big surprise?
It wasn't a huge surprise. He ended up picking Colorado. That was a school that he had taken a visit to in late June and really had a great time out there. And they've really emphasized how they can use him in both the running game and the passing game. He's always been a kid that I thought would likely leave the state. As you mentioned, he doesn't have roots here, but I think he had almost 50 offers. So he had plenty of places to go, but it was Colorado that I think showed him the best time up.
All right, fantastic. You'll be able to hear from Alan on our podcast, plus on State Champs TV in both Michigan and Indiana. So, Alan, we'll see you next week at the PKC. Okay, time now to welcome in a brand new member of the State Champs team. I mentioned earlier that Tom Markowski has decided to hang up his full-time hat as senior editor and writer for StateChampsNetwork.com. The man joining me now has worn many hats himself, including Tigers beat writer. He covered high school sports at the Oakland Press, among other papers. Matt Mowry, welcome to State Champs.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right, good to have you. Matt will be handling the football rankings for State Champs, and you'll get a look at our preseason top 10 later in the show. But first, let us preview an area you are familiar with, and that is Oakland County. Coaching changes happening in the OC as well.
One of the biggest, though, obviously, is at Walled Lake Western, where Mike Zadebski, after a Hall of Fame career, 17 playoff appearances, 5 semifinals, 1 state title, decided that he was going to resign there and move out to Arizona, and he's being replaced by Alex Grignan. And Alex inherits a nice team. He's got Sam Johnson III, quarterback who's going to Boston College, and another guy who can kind of relate to that, what it is to be a first-year coach. And taking over for a legend is Dan Anderson right down the road at Detroit Catholic Central. They're picked second in the Catholic League Central Division, which is always tough. And then a couple of teams out of the OAA White that you really want to keep an eye on. Oak Park finished 9-3 last year. That's a team that has been poised to take that next step for quite a while. If they do it, they'll probably have to go through a Harrison team. It's John Harrington's last season on the sidelines after 49 seasons. It's a talented team for kind of a last season, a last hurrah at Harrison, so you know that they would like to send out Coach Harrington on a high note.
Matt will be back with our first top teams of the season. Who's number one? You will find out shortly, but first, time for a preview of what's happening in West Michigan. My former co-host is with Fox 17 on the left coast. She is Stephanie Funkhauser.
No school in the state of Michigan has won 6 consecutive state championships in football, but West Catholic will get a shot at that in 2018. The Falcons have a new quarterback this year, but said it's all about their saying, tradition never graduates. Speaking of repeat state titles, Grand Rapids Catholic Central is looking to three-peat in 2018. Coming off of 2 straight Division IV state championships, the Cougars also lost a share of their standout seniors, but return a lot of contributors, including 7 starters on defense. In the Muskegon area, the Big Reds have never won consecutive state titles and will look to change that this season. They return 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line, including LSU commit Anthony Bradford. Finally, Kalamazoo Central and Harper Creek High School both have new coaches this year who will look to make a splash in West Michigan. Former Ferris State wide receiver Carlton Brewster is leading the Maroon Giants, and former Harper Creek assistant Mason Converse is taking over for the Beavers, who went undefeated in the regular season last year and have some pretty high expectations this season. Should be a fun year in West Michigan.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. Scott Bernstein back in this chair now as we take a look at the Western Wayne, Ann Arbor area. You know, Canton, Plymouth, Salem, all with new head coaches. So that will be interesting how those teams do this season. Who would you like to focus on?
Well, you know, when you're talking about the area, you got to start with Belleville. They are a juggernaut's paradise. Cass Tech West. Jermaine Kroll has come in there and is building what could be a superpower.
In the KLAA now.
And they're moving into the KLAA this year. Belleville has arguably the best player on offense and 5-star offensive lineman Devontae Dobbs in the entire state, and the best player possibly on defense in cornerback Julian Barnett going to Michigan State. Moving over to River Rouge, Corey Parker, really building something special there. They're 43-9 over the last 4 years, 3 straight trips to the Division IV Final Four. They have a combo of defensive ends right now in Ruku Okor-Horo, who's going to Clemson, and Jalen Henderson, that are probably the 2 best pass rushers combo in the state.
You know, Celine's been knocking on the door several years, haven't got over the hump yet. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, Joe Palka has come over there and has just done an excellent job. They're 60-10 in his 7 years on the sidelines. This year they're breaking in a new quarterback in Andy Arbaugh. They have a Division I safety in MJ Griffin who's going to Temple.
You can catch Scott on both football podcasts this season as well as read his Bernie's Bites blogs and his top player rankings all season long at statechampsnetwork.com. Time now for an update in the Upper Peninsula. To help us do that, Rachel Zerby.
This football season is going to be different than years prior. A conference realignment means a guaranteed 9 games and new opponents for several teams. Mid-Penn Conference meet the West Pack. After having to forfeit 2 of their last 3 games last season, Ishpeming's goal is to remain healthy this year to compete for the conference title. But the Hematites will have to go up against Negaunee and DEQUAN, both teams who are returning their core from last year. The Model Towners have their sights set on getting back to the playoffs for just the 3rd time in program history. Westwood had a turnaround year, improving from 2-7 to 9-2, and even with the loss of several seniors, the Patriots are conference favorites. In the Great Northern Conference, the Redmen returned 2 offensive weapons in running back Drew Gale and receiver Ethan Martish, but they'll have to go up against the reigning GNC champs Kingsford and the Eskimos, who made their deepest playoff run since 1981. In 8-man, Forest Park is coming off a state championship in Division II and is entering just its 3rd season of 8-player. The Trojans will have to fill key positions due to losing running back Connor Bordolini and quarterback Peter Robiak to graduation.
State Champs High School Sports Show is back for its 18th season, and we are better than ever. And now, for the first time in our history, State Champs has expanded to Indiana. So, beginning August 26th, State Champs Michigan will air every Sunday on Fox Sports Detroit at 9 a.m. And State Champs Indiana will air every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Central on Fox Sports Midwest. We are very excited about our expansion, and we hope everyone will be with us on this ride.
My passion is architecture. I don't want to sit around passively studying. I need to create. In our architecture studios at Lawrence Tech, we collaborate with students, faculty, and professionals from around the world. And from day one, we design using the same industry standard software that architecture firms use. I really feel like I'm designing my own future here. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
The high school football season always starts in Detroit with the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic. 3 days, 7 games. Michigan's top teams and players competing at Wayne State University with these great matchups on Thursday, August 23rd, Friday, August 24th, and Saturday, August 25th. Tickets on sale now at participating schools. For more information, visit DetroitSports.org. The Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic. The season starts here.
Since the dawn of man, storytelling has been the most effective and engaging means of communication. Whether gathered around the warm glow of a fireplace or the family television set, a compelling story has always moved people to action. At Yellow Flag Productions, the Emmy-winning storytellers behind our television programs are now helping clients create content that emphasizes their people and passions. Let us tell your story and share it with the world.
We welcome back Matt Mowry to the desk. Matt will be updating our top 25 rankings all season long. We have a preseason top 10 to tease you with. Let's go ahead and put that list on your screen. Belleville is our #1 team to start. Very talented. Scott Bernstein talked about them earlier. Let's focus on the bottom half of this list because there really are some good teams with high hopes and some defending champs.
Absolutely. Muskegon is just as talented as Belleville when you look at their roster. 14-0 last year, they won the Division III title. The one thing they haven't done in their 6 titles is they've never gone back-to-back. Obviously, they need to replace Ladarius Jefferson, who's now at MSU. A couple of other teams that you want to look out for from Oakland County. Obviously, Clarkston is the defending Division I champion. A little bit of a smaller team this year, but they've got a couple of king-size linemen who played as freshmen in Rocco Spindler and Garrett Dellinger, who are getting all kinds of recruiting attention. And then obviously West Bloomfield, the other team in that Division I title game, went 11-3 last year. They have a new quarterback in CJ Harris, but they also have do-everything linebacker Lance Dixon, who's headed for Penn State, and they have a ton of speed.
It's going to be interesting. Thank you, Matt. Follow Matt on Twitter at Matthew B. Mowry. Looking forward to all the coverage this year. All right. Of course, the season starts in Detroit, and that is the annual Prep Kickoff Classic at Wayne State University. Another amazing lineup this season. Joining me now at the table to talk about the 2018 Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic. He's been with the Detroit Sports Commission for 6 years, second year as director. He is Chris Smith. Chris, thank you. Welcome.
Appreciate you having me.
Okay, we are glad you are here. And I have to say right off the bat, we have an outstanding lineup this season. Leading up to the games, we've been highlighting 14 top plays over the years to commemorate 14 years of the PKC. Just seems like it's getting better and better.
It does. How about that? 14 years in. First of all, to understand that we're 14 years in, and the matchups that we have this year are phenomenal. You've got East St. Louis coming in to play King. You've got Cass playing Rouge. You've got Wall Lake Western playing CC, Detroit Catholic Central. There are other games that are going on, Allen Park. They're all the games. They're tremendous opportunities for these kids to come on out, be able to showcase their abilities in a world-class destination in Detroit.
Besides the games, what can the fans look forward to as far as their experience at the Prep Kickoff?
Oh, the experience is phenomenal. You've got the food trucks, the vendors. You have Wayne State University itself showcasing their campus. You have your sponsors with their activation points on the field. You know, we've got some tricks up our sleeve this year, so I'm going to save a little surprise for later on for folks when they come on out to the games. But it's a phenomenal experience. It's just a lot of fun for the family.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of stuff going on. How do they get tickets?
How do they get tickets? You can either go to one of the schools that are participating, or you can go on to DetroitSports.org and you can buy your tickets there online. And from there, you can go ahead and select the school that you want to support, and a donation goes back to the school. So this is all about helping the student athletes and helping those athletic programs in our high schools.
All right, so you got to check it out. Of course, you know State Champs is going to be there. The director of the Detroit Sports Commission, Chris Smith, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, next week we know that it's on. The first show for State Champs, so make sure you join us, and we'll see you then.
Let's get it.
State Champs High School Football Preview Show is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. And National Coney Island, home of the official craving of summer. National Coney Island, doggone good.